Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. A little bit of a rainy day here in Sacramento, California. It looks like the rain has stopped, but I don't know. It's not April anymore. Maybe April showers will bring more rain in May, and I don't know. But let's see. The big story of the day floating around is the rumor of Dean Ambrose turning heel at the upcoming Payback pay-per-view. Honestly, when you look at the card right now, especially the main event, it is very babyface heavy with 3 babyfaces going up against Seth Rollins, the heel champion as of right now, and sort of a tweener. Kane is the guy that's sort of, booking the matches, and he said that he would put 9 guys into this match if he needed to. He just wanted Seth Rollins to respect him and shut the hell up and know that he knew what he was doing. When you look at the match right now, it's the champion Seth Rollins going up against Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was sort of a wild card. They got thrown into there, sort of made this a little bit of a wide open match. To me, honestly, Ambrose is a guy that, really needs this to sort of shake up his career. He sort of, was really, really hot when he was going up against Seth Rollins at the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. People were making comparisons to him being the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, a guy that, really could do nothing wrong. And they went over the top with Ambrose, and he turned into this sort of cartoon, not to the point of being like a Santino Marella character, but instead of being like a lone wolf, just being a flat-out goof. You can remember him doing the news announcements, sort of looking like he was on CNN. I believe those were to hype up the match against Wade Barrett when he wanted to be Intercontinental Champion, and how bad he just wanted to have his picture hung on the wall of champions inside the WWE's, Titan Towers. He just, I guess, wanted to have his memory remembered, or I don't know what the hell that whole thing about is. But basically his whole hunt for becoming the Intercontinental Champion, especially when you think about the whole Bray Wyatt feud that went down all of November and December. I know that he got to headline the TLC pay-per-view in December with the TLC match, and a very, very unmemorable pay-per-view and a very unmemorable match. It's just very, very low on the list of TLC matches in my mind, and I honestly just didn't even think that he main evented a pay-per-view until that point right there. I think he even main evented the Hell in the Cell, didn't he? Because I think Orton and Cena went on early, and Rollins and Ambrose was the main event there. So wow, 2 main events in a calendar year, or in the last year as well. And then here he is going into this one. This would be his 3rd main event in a year. Maybe Ambrose is higher up on the list than I thought he was. But when the Shield broke up, he almost sort of became like he was lost in the shuffle. Maybe going off and making that movie. What month was that? I forget what pay-per-view month he missed, and he ended up having to come back. I think it wasn't a Night of Champions. Maybe it was somewhere around there, and he had to come back and save Roman Reigns because of the hernia surgery, and he showed up at the event, and he stalked Rollins throughout the night, and they basically had a meeting in the ring where it was a beatdown because Seth Rollins wanted to be announced the winner via, I can't remember if it was count out or via forfeit, but he wanted to be announced the winner to get some heat in front of the crowd. And the taxi pulled up. Ambrose jumped out and ran to the ring and beat him up, and fun was had by all. But if you think that I don't know how you do this, because I over the last few months, whenever we've seen Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the ring at the same time, they've been a tag team, or they've ran in to sort of save each other in certain situations. They give each other that brotherly hug where I'll always be there for you, brother. But this is a fatal 4-way. Everyone knows going in that the first pinfall wins the whole deal. It's not an elimination style match. So I don't know how you have a heel turn at the pay-per-view unless it's on Monday. And he just flat out stabs him in the back. But, honestly, Ambrose turning on Roman and going in the direction of being a heel that, can be progressing where he's going from here. I mean, I always go with the whole thing that, if somebody starts a program and it's going to be something meaningful inside WWE, it's normally going to go for 3 months. you're going to have one guy win one match, the other guy win the other, and then you have this sort of the blow-off sort of rubber matches, they call it. And I know that a lot of people think that Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar is going to be a one-on-one for SummerSlam, but I still want to keep that open for Roman. But if you think about it, they would have 3 pay-per-views in a row. If Ambrose was to stab Roman in the back and then they decided to go from there, that would be the Money in the Bank. And that would be, is that Battleground that's after there, and then SummerSlam. So Roman would be busy for that month, and he would be out of the title picture. I know he's in the title picture right here. I think that some people think that he has a chance to win. I honestly don't think they're ready to do that to him. That Roman Reigns special that they aired on the WWE Network after Monday Night Raw, the 24, was very good. It opened a lot of people's eyes to Roman Reigns, and a lot of people thought that if they would have aired something like this before WrestleMania, would have got him over and people would have cared about the guy more. But I think honestly just him losing at WrestleMania warmed up a lot of people's eyes to Roman Reigns, and they know he's going to be champion sooner than later. They know that they have to pass the torch to somebody. I know that there's a lot of guys from NXT, and a lot of people like those guys, whether if it's Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, Finn Balor, Tommy, Kevin Owens, all those guys that are down there. I think I actually got all their names, and I didn't have them written down on a piece of paper. I think I went through the whole list. I think a lot of guys would like to see the championship on one of those guys, but I think everybody can sort of realize that they're just starting to get their feet wet. Roman Reigns was in the WWE on the main roster for 2 years before people thought he was going to get the championship, and they turned on him thinking that he hadn't done it all. And, these guys, I don't know, you just look hypocritical if you're like, oh, I didn't want Roman to be champion because he didn't deserve it yet. But if they had Neville, win because he cashed in the Money in the Bank or something like that, Neville's going to be awesome if they put him in that Money in the Bank match this year. He doesn't have to win it, but just the shit that he can do in that match to make that look really, really good is going to be really fun. But, I don't know how you do it since the Fatal 4-Way, but if Ambrose turns on Rollins and they can sort of go in that direction from there, it's going to add a whole lot of depth to the Dean Ambrose character and, make him more of a believable guy that is a lone wolf, fights his own fight. He can be coming, when I was first introduced to Dean Ambrose, when he was coming up through FCW, and people were trying to explain to me what this guy was, and I was first seeing him as a member of the Shield, I thought that he was a guy that portrayed somebody that was like a meth head. He always is sort of itching and scratching, and he just comes off really, really weird. He has that sort of lip quiver that he does a lot, and some people told me that he sort of portrays himself a little bit like the Joker would be from the Batman movies, and without the the jokes and shit like that, but the sort of way that they portrayed him. I always thought that the Joker always came off like a heroin addict in my mind, but we'll have to see. I think that it's going to make Dean Ambrose a better character for WWE and a more marketable, well, not marketable, he sells a lot of t-shirts and shit like that, but it's sort of putting him in the right light. As babyface, Dean Ambrose, I think, has gone as far as it's going to go. And honestly, when it comes down to it, I think he's the guy a lot like Randy Orton, that heel or babyface, the people that love him are going to love him either way. They might feel like some people are going to be really excited that he turned heel, knowing that it's going to be going somewhere, and he's probably going to have better opportunities. But there might be some people that are shocked that he's a bad guy now. But they'll come around, and he'll have the same fans he always had.